I've been on a creative, artistic / entrepreneurial journey for the past 10 years, and here are some insights that I've gained that might be beneficial to you if you're just starting out, or maybe you're already on a creative entrepreneurial journey but you're kind of feeling self-doubt and not really sure if you're on the right track or if this is for you. Stick around because this video is intended to be the support that you need, my friend. The difference between confident people and unconfident people is that confident people know that it's okay to be unconfident. There is no such thing as confident versus unconfident people. There's just people that realize that you don't need to have it figured out. You're never going to have it figured out. You're always going to have some sort of self-doubt. You're always going to think that you're an imposter. And that's okay. When that voice comes in, you just realize, oh, there's that part of me that thinks I'm a piece of poo. And that's cool. There's no need to shame it. There's no need to push it away. It's just there. It's always going to be there. And the sooner you realize that it's always going to be there, the sooner you can move forward. So when you think things are failing, maybe they are. Find solutions to the challenges that you have. Don't be afraid to scrap things. It doesn't make you an idiot for trying and failing. You don't know what you're doing most of the time. Most of the things that I thought were going to happen in a certain way didn't happen that way, and they ended up happening in a unique way that I couldn't have imagined. It was quite magical, you could say, and the actual process of me getting to that place of having those visions realized was a product of me taking action in the first place. So I had a plan initially, and then the plan kind of changed as I went through the process. And then things started to work out. And the takeaway from this is that you don't need to know what you're doing. It's good to have your vision because that gives you a little kind of idea of how you might go about getting there. It gives you an idea of like the things you might do, the people you might contact, the skills you might need to acquire. But it's through doing all of those things that the real plan actually materializes. And the plan only really comes to fruition when you're already in motion. You can't just sit in your room and have a plan and then expect A, B, C, D, E, F, G to happen seamlessly. It just won't do that for the most part. And so this is for the people that feel like they're stuck right now or that the plan isn't working. That's good. If the plan's not working, that's not a bad sign. That's just a sign that there's another possibility, another solution that you have not yet identified, which you will identify if you persist and maintain that positive mental outlook. Be proactive, speak to people, ask people, tell people what your challenges are, and you'd be surprised how many people might actually have the solution to that challenge right there and then. So often we're afraid to ask for help or to express the challenges that we're experiencing, and it's by keeping silent that we actually end up shooting ourselves in the foot, because if you just spoke, if you were just vocal about it, you would realize that more people have that challenge or have gone through that challenge, and those are the people that can help you get through the challenge. And it goes on because now that you've overcome challenges, you can help other people. So I encourage you, if you bump into people, if you meet people in random situations outside and they're maybe a little bit further back on the path of entrepreneurship or creativity than you are, offer them some guidance, because you'd be surprised the knowledge that you have that would be helpful for them. Because remember where you were last year or 5 years ago? That could be another person right now. And if you could speak to your past self, what would you say? What wisdom do you have to share? I guarantee you've got a lot of it, and that could be very beneficial to lots of other people, and that's going to expand your network in the process, which is going to be extra beneficial for you where you're at now. Entrepreneurship and creativity, performing, putting yourself out there, whatever way you want to spin it, is the pinnacle of vulnerability in all senses, because people are seeing you from all over the world. Realistically, with the internet, people can see you from all over the world. People in your immediate circle can see you, your family can see you, your friends can see you. It's an incredibly vulnerable position to be in, because people are going to be judging you, people are going to be praising you. There's going to be everything in between. You are exposing yourself to financial hardship as a creative entrepreneurial person. You're also exposing yourself to a beautiful financial reality where your ceiling is infinite. You can earn as much money as you want. No one's going to dictate your ceiling except for you. So whatever you want, so long as you're providing the value and putting the frameworks in place to get there, you can have what you want. There's no grand reward without a grand risk, right? So that's why you can go so far on either end of the spectrum. And like, public opinion of you could be terrible, it could be incredible. Your financial health could be terrible, it could be incredible. it's likely to ebb and flow between the two. But if you know, you know, like once you realize the potential, and if that's within your risk tolerance, if that's within your preferences, there's not really a way for you to go back to a capped salary or a capped job description, because when you have all of these ideas coming all of the time, and you have this hunger and desire to test boundaries and try new things and create more value and more value and more value, you just do it. And the downside is just part and parcel. It's part of the process. And you know that when you go down, you're going to be going up again at some point too, and so on and so forth. You know, we could look at a 9-to-5 as like being on the shore of life, but entrepreneurship or creative journeys are like you're in the ocean, you're in the heart of the storm potentially. And you can come back to shore too if you want. But that's the thing, sometimes you got to go out to catch the big fish, I guess. And that's challenging and it's a tough experience, but it's got all of the other benefits that you're not going to get at shore, because there's just so many people at shore. It's crowded, it's overpopulated. There's just not as much fish in the sea there relative to the number of people. Fish might be opportunities, it might be money, it might be networks, it might be simple solitude and being on your own away from people for weeks, because you don't have to book holidays from your employer. One thing I'd like to touch on is money. As a creative, as a person who's building something, we want to monetize it. But if I reflect on my experiences, particularly as an artist or as someone who's facilitating different workshops, I used to do yoga and meditation facilitation and stuff like this. And I enjoy being a musician. I enjoy singing. I enjoyed facilitating and guiding people. But when I was attempting to make money out of that and feeling pressure to make money out of it, because I kind of proclaimed that I was a musician or I was a facilitator, it put a lot of pressure on me, because now I was focused on money and like making money and having people turn up and put money in my guitar bag or, you know, book into a class. That put a lot of stress and pressure on me that I didn't have when it was just simply performing or offering a facilitation. Some days I would go out on the street to play music when I was busking years ago, and I would need the money because I needed to pay rent and I didn't have another job, and I would be there solely to make money because I didn't want to play music in those moments. So I would be stood there for hours trying to make some money, and I might not make any, or I might only make like $5 or $10 or $20, which wasn't sufficient to cover costs for the day. I just didn't want to be there. When there's something that we love doing, that we feel we're obligated to now do because of the financial reward that may come, it can really shift our relationship to that activity. And I found that that is not good for me, and it's not good for my overall creative spirit. In those situations, I've found that it's actually more beneficial to just get something on the side that will cover costs. Like, so at that time I would have got a job in a restaurant, because I just realized like I don't want to be reliant on this for money solely. Sure, if it gives me money, great. And if it gives me enough at one point to like drop my server job, then amazing. Ultimately, when I took on another job, it gave me that expansive feeling again to create and to really enjoy that process. You don't need to monetize your stuff right away. And if you do, great. But if you don't, it doesn't lessen the impact that you're having. And if you persist at it and go slow and steady, rather than trying to do some ninja guru marketing tactics to try and get people to buy your stuff or whatever it might be, you'll probably find that you're gonna feel better, you're gonna offer a better service or a better product, and you're not gonna have that stress that comes with not having your finances in order. I used to feel a lot of shame around doing other things for money, because I was like, well, no, I'm a musician, I have to make money for music. But that wasn't helpful. That wasn't helping me be a better musician. So identify what it is that allows you to feel at peace, allows you to feel the most productive and creative, and then arrange your life in a way that allows you to do that more effectively and efficiently, because you don't need to prove yourself to anybody. And it's just an insecurity when we try to deny certain realities about our finances or about how much time something takes. Some things just don't take that much time. Like, there's no need for me to be a full-time musician because I'm not singing songs 12 hours a day. I had time to do other things, and there's no shame in doing that. When I reflect back on my journey, you know, be it as a musician or as a performer or a business person, all of my initial ideas came in and I was super excited about it, super inspired. And then I realized the gravity of the situation of, you know, taxes and insurance and, you know, setting up a bunch of cameras. Like, I don't want to do most of the things involved in a business, like the logistical stuff. It's just really annoying. All of that stuff leads up to the point of recording the video, and then I'll edit it, and then I'll upload it, and I really love the finished product, but all of that stuff in between, it's really annoying. And I think in any endeavor you're going to have to encounter these annoying things, because nobody wakes up in the morning and thinks, oh, I can't wait to do my tax returns, or oh, I can't wait to call up 10 insurance companies to see which one is going to rip me off the least for an insurance policy that I'm never going to use, but legally I need to have it. All of these things, they're really annoying, and when you're faced with them after your initial inspiration for your beautiful vision to change the world, and then you see all of this paperwork bullshit and you're like, wow, I don't care about my vision anymore. I'll just do the 9 to 5, or I'll do something simpler. It's the price that you pay, and if you can outsource it to someone, if you have the means and the money to do that, then by all means do. But the only way that I found to really effectively do it is to just do it. Like, I never want to do it. There's never going to be a point where I want to do it. But in just taking the steps and taking the action, executing and getting it done, you'll get that dopamine hit at the end. But also you've got a whole load of stuff done that thankfully you don't have to do too often, and then you can shift your focus to core work involved in your vision. So often we don't do things because we're afraid people are watching us, and we don't want them to see us fail because they might judge us. And to that I say, there's probably people judging you right now. There's going to be a lot more judging you in the future. People that judge you are just projecting the judgments they have toward themselves onto you. You know, historically and even sometimes now, I look at people that are successful, that I think are successful, and I try to justify why they don't deserve it. That's my trauma. That's on me. That's my judgment. That's me saying, I don't yet feel worthy to experience the beautiful life that I see you having. And that's my inner work to do. And that's why I create, because it allows me to learn more about myself. That's why I approach people with curiosity. I see perspectives that I disagree with, and I do my best to be curious about where they're coming from so that I can get as much knowledge and understanding of what's going on in this world, what's going on within myself. And then to bring that to my business, to my creative endeavors in a way that is of service to the whole. I honor you and I appreciate you so much for being on this journey. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Leave a comment if you found it helpful. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. Check out this video if you want to see my interesting way of making more money and getting clients in 2023. Have a great week.